Good evening, dear cultivator. My name is Mr. James Candlelight, and I'm grateful to walk with you tonight. Tonight, we visit the garden of Arthur Pemberton, a 95-year-old man who has spent his entire life working with soil, seeds, and seasons. Arthur knows he's approaching the end of his life. His doctor has told him he likely won't see another spring after this one. His body is failing, his time is short, and yet, this spring, Arthur is planting trees. Not young trees that will bloom in a few years, but saplings that will take decades to mature, oak trees that won't reach their full height for 50 years, fruit trees that won't bear their best harvest for 20. Trees Arthur will never see fully grown. When his neighbor asks why he's planting trees he'll never sit under, Arthur's answer is simple: because someone I'll never meet will sit under them. And that's reason enough. This is a story about legacy and generosity, about planting seeds for futures we won't see, about understanding that our lives extend far beyond our own lifetimes through what we leave behind. Before we enter Arthur's garden, let us prepare with deep relaxation so we can understand the patience of trees and the wisdom of planting for others. Settle in now, get comfortable, put your roots down. Let's begin. Imagine yourself standing in a garden in early spring. The air is cool, but the sun is warm. Everything is beginning to grow. You can smell earth fresh and alive. You can hear birds building nests, preparing for the season ahead. I'm going to count down from 10 to 1, and with each number, you will root deeper into the earth, deeper into relaxation, deeper into the patience of growing things. 10. Feel the earth beneath your feet, soft, receptive, ready to receive seeds. You are standing on soil that has nourished life for millions of years, that will continue long after you're gone. Let yourself be held by that continuity. 9. Notice your body. Where are you holding tension? Imagine it like seeds clutched too tightly in your fist. If you hold too tight, they can't be planted. Open your hand, let them fall into the soil. Let them go so they can grow. 8. You are completely safe. Gardens are patient places. Nothing is rushed here. Seeds know when to sprout. Trees know when to leaf. Flowers know when to bloom. Trust that timing. Trust that patience. 7. Thoughts drift through like clouds over a garden. Some bring rain, some bring sun. All are part of the cycle. You don't control the weather. You just tend what you can and let nature do the rest. Let go of control now. Let things unfold. 6. This moment is yours. This rest is necessary. You've been so focused on harvests, on results, on seeing the fruits of your labor, but tonight you can just plant. Just sow. Just trust that growth will come, even if you don't see it. 5. Peace grows slowly, like an oak tree. You don't see it happening day by day, but over time, imperceptibly, it becomes strong, unshakable, permanent. Feel that slow, steady growth of peace inside you now. 4. Breathe in gratitude for gardeners, for planters, for those who sow seeds for futures they won't see, for everyone who plants trees they'll never climb, who builds things that will outlast them, for the generosity of looking beyond your own life. 3. You can see it now. An old man in a garden. White hair, weathered hands. He's digging a hole, not for himself, but for a sapling, for the future. This is where wisdom grows. This is where we learn to give. 2. Your body is so heavy now, so relaxed, like soil after rain, ready to receive, ready to nourish, ready to hold seeds until they're ready to grow. You are fertile ground. You are good soil. 1. Step into the garden. Feel the earth beneath your feet. As the story unfolds, you will meet Arthur and learn what trees teach about legacy. You are welcome. You are rooted. You are growing. And now, we enter the garden where someone plants for strangers. Arthur Pemberton's garden is not large, but it is extraordinary. 2 acres of carefully tended land on the outskirts of a small town. Every inch is intentional. Every plant has its place and purpose. There are vegetable beds, meticulously organized, flower borders that bloom in succession from spring through fall, a small orchard with apple, pear, and plum trees. But what makes the garden remarkable is its maturity. The trees are massive, decades old. The soil is rich, dark, alive. The pathways are worn smooth by 70 years of footsteps. This is a garden that has been loved for a lifetime. And in the center of it all, on this bright April morning, is Arthur. He's 95 years old, thin and frail, but still capable. He moves slowly, using a cane, but he moves with purpose. He's digging a hole. It's hard work for a man his age. He digs, rests, digs, rests. His breath comes hard. His hands shake, but he keeps going. Nearby, leaning against a wheelbarrow, is a young oak sapling, 3 feet tall, its roots wrapped in burlap. Arthur stops digging and wipes his brow. He looks at the sapling, then at the hole, measuring with his eyes. A bit deeper, he mutters to himself, "Oaks need deep roots." He continues digging. You approach cautiously, not wanting to disturb him, but he hears you and looks up, unsurprised. "Morning," he says, his voice rough but friendly. "Come to watch an old fool plant a tree." "Is that what you're doing?" you ask. "I, white oak, take 50 years to reach maturity." maybe 100 to reach its full majesty. I'll be long dead. He says this matter-of-factly, without self-pity. Then why plant it? Arthur leans on his spade and looks at you with eyes that have seen nearly a century. Why not plant it? He gestures for you to sit on a nearby bench, weathered wood, worn smooth, clearly handmade decades ago. Let me rest a moment, Arthur says, joining you. These old bones don't work like they used to. He's quiet for a bit, catching his breath, looking around his garden with satisfaction. I've been a gardener my whole life, he finally says. My father was a gardener. His father before him. We've tended this land or 3 generations. When I was 5 years old, my grandfather planted an oak tree right over there. He points to a massive tree at the garden's edge. Its trunk is thick as a car, its branches spread wide. I asked him why he was planting it. He said the same thing you just did. He'd never see it fully grown. And he said the same thing I just said. Why not? Grandfather died when I was 12. That tree was still small, just a sapling. Arthur looks at the tree now, 90 years after it was planted. But look at it now. 3 generations of my family have played under that tree, had picnics in its shade, built tree houses in its branches. My grandchildren climbed it. Their children climb it now. Grandfather never saw any of that. But he made it possible by planting a tree he'd never sit under. He turns back to you. That's the lesson he taught me. That gardening isn't about you. It's about what you leave behind, what you pass on, what you plant for people you'll never know. When did you learn you don't have much time left? You ask, gently. Arthur shrugs. About 6 months ago, doctor said my heart is giving out. Could be weeks, could be months, probably not years. He says this calmly, as if reporting the weather. I'm 95. I've had a good run. I'm not afraid, just running out of time to plant what I want to plant. Which is why you're planting that oak. That and the others. I've planted 6 saplings this spring, 2 more oaks, an elm, a maple, 2 fruit trees, apple and cherry. I'll never taste the fruit. Never sit in the shade, never see them grow taller than me. But someone will. And that matters. He stands slowly, using his cane for support. Help me with the tree. You help him lift the sapling from the wheelbarrow. It's heavier than it looks, the root ball substantial. Together, you carry it to the hole he's dug. Gently now, Arthur instructs. Treat it with respect. This tree is going to outlive both of us by a century or more. You lower it into the hole. Arthur adjusts it, making sure it's straight, checking the depth. Good. Now the soil. As you help him fill in the hole around the sapling's roots, Arthur talks. People think gardening is about the gardener, about getting to eat the vegetables you grew, enjoying the flowers you planted, sitting under the trees you tended. But that's just the beginning. The real gift of gardening is what happens after you're gone. He pats the soil down around the tree, gentle but firm. This oak will be here long after I'm dust. It will shade people I'll never meet, provide habitat for birds and squirrels and insects, drop acorns that will feed wildlife, maybe even grow new trees. It will clean the air, hold the soil, weather storms, witness countless sunrises. And none of that requires me to be here. My only job is to plant it, to give it a good start. After that, it's on its own. You water the newly planted tree together. The water soaks into the dark soil, feeding the roots. There, Arthur says, with satisfaction, that's done. One more legacy planted. Arthur leads you on a slow tour of his garden. He shows you beds he planted decades ago that still produce, perennials that come back year after year, bulbs that multiply underground, creating more flowers each spring. Most of what I plant now, I won't see bloom, he says. Those tulip bulbs I put in last fall, I probably won't see them next spring, but someone will, and they'll be beautiful. He stops at a rose bush, heavy with buds just beginning to open. This rose was planted by my wife, Eleanor. She died 20 years ago, but her roses still bloom every year. She's still here in a way, still bringing beauty to this garden. That's what we leave behind. Not just things, but beauty, joy, nourishment, shade on a hot day. You reach a section of the garden that's clearly new. Fresh soil, young plants, several saplings staked against the wind. This is my last spring, Arthur says quietly. I know that. I can feel it. So I'm planting everything I can. Everything I've been meaning to plant but kept putting off. Because there's no time like the present, and no better gift than a tree. Doesn't it make you sad? You ask, knowing you won't see any of this mature. Arthur considers this. Sometimes. I'd love to see this oak grow tall, watch these fruit trees bear their first harvest, sit in the shade I'm creating. But sadness isn't the main feeling. Mostly I feel grateful. Grateful I had the chance to plant them. Grateful I can contribute to a future I won't see. And hopeful. These trees give me hope because they say the world will continue, life will go on. There will be people here to enjoy this, even when I'm gone. That's not sad. That's beautiful. He sits on another bench, this one under the massive oak his grandfather planted. You know what I think about? I think about some child, maybe 50 years from now, climbing the oak I just planted, having adventures in its branches, feeling safe and hidden in its leaves. I won't know that child, won't know their name or their story, but I'll have given them that experience, that joy, that memory. How is that not worth doing? How is that not a good use of my last days? A young couple walks by the garden fence pushing a stroller. They wave to Arthur, who waves back. They just moved to town, Arthur explains. Young family. New baby. They walk past every day and admire the garden. Yesterday I told them, when I'm gone, this garden goes to the town. It becomes a public park, a place for families like theirs to picnic, to play, to rest. You should have seen their faces. They were shocked, asked why I wouldn't leave it to family. I told them, my family has enjoyed this garden for 3 generations. Now it's time for other families to enjoy it too. That's how legacy works. It spreads out. It includes more and more people. Besides, he chuckles, my grandchildren live in the city now. They don't want to maintain a garden, but the town will. They'll keep it alive, keep it growing. That's what matters. He looks around at his life's work. 70 years I've tended this soil, planted thousands of seeds, nurtured hundreds of plants, and now it all continues without me. That's not an ending. That's a beginning. You spend the afternoon helping Arthur with small tasks, watering, weeding, staking tomato plants that are just beginning to climb. He works slowly but steadily, taking frequent rests. You can see the effort it costs him, but also the joy it brings. People tell me I should rest. He says at one point, take it easy. Conserve my energy. But for what? To die a little later with more energy unused. That seems like a waste. I'd rather spend my last energy doing what I love, creating something that will outlast me. That seems like the best possible use of whatever time I have left. He plants lettuce seeds in neat rows. These will be ready in about 6 weeks. I might not be here to harvest them, but someone will. And they'll enjoy fresh salad because I took 30 minutes to plant these seeds today. That seems worth it to me. As the afternoon fades toward evening, Arthur sits once more under his grandfather's oak. The light is golden, filtering through the leaves. Birds are singing their evening songs. The garden is peaceful, beautiful, complete. Thank you for spending the day with me, Arthur says. Most people find an old man and his garden rather dull. Not dull, you say, profound. He smiles. I'm just a gardener. Been doing it all my life. Don't know anything else. You know about legacy, about generosity, about planting for others. Ah, Arthur says. Well, gardening teaches you that. You can't be a gardener and be selfish. The whole practice is about giving to the future. He's quiet for a moment, then says, You want to know the secret to a meaningful life? You nod. Plant things. Not just literal seeds, though those too, but plant kindness, plant knowledge, plant beauty, plant joy. Plant things that will grow after you're gone, that will nourish people you'll never meet, that will create shade and fruit and flowers for generations to come. Don't worry about whether you'll see the harvest. Just plant. That's the work. That's the purpose. That's the legacy. He stands slowly, using his cane. Come on, help me plant one more. A cherry tree. My wife loved cherries. Together, in the fading light, you dig one more hole, plant one more tree. Arthur pats the soil down around it with such tenderness, like tucking a child into bed. There, he says, Eleanor would have loved this. In 10 years, maybe 15, this tree will bloom. White flowers in spring, dark cherries in summer. Birds will feast on them. Children will climb it. Life will continue. And I'll be gone. But this tree will remain. That's enough. That's more than enough. As you prepare to leave, Arthur walks you to the garden gate. The evening air is cool. The sky is turning purple and gold. Everything is settling into the peace of twilight. Thank you for planting with me today, Arthur says, for understanding why an old man plants trees he'll never see. Thank you for teaching me, you reply, about legacy, about generosity, about planting for strangers. Arthur takes your hand in both of his. His skin is thin as paper, but his grip is warm. Promise me something, he says. Plant something, anything, a tree, a garden, an idea, a kindness, something that will outlast you. Don't wait until you're 95 and running out of time. Start now, plant now, give to the future now. Because the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. He smiles. Go on now. And when you pass an old tree, think of the gardener who planted it, the person who gave that gift to you, even though they never knew you. And then plant your own trees for people you'll never know. As you walk away from Arthur's garden, you turn back once. He's still there, standing among his plants, his trees, his life's work. An old man surrounded by growth, by life, by the future he's planted. The sun sets behind him, painting everything gold, and you realize he's not ending, he's continuing through every seed, every tree, every flower. Arthur Pemberton will die soon, but his legacy is already here, growing, blooming, bearing fruit. He has already outlasted himself. Tonight, as you drift towards sleep, think about Arthur planting trees he'll never climb. Think about the generosity of giving to a future you won't see. Think about your own life. What are you planting? Not just literal seeds, though those matter too. But what are you planting in the world? What kindness are you sowing that will bloom after you're gone? What knowledge are you sharing that will grow in someone else's mind? What beauty are you creating that will bring joy to people you'll never meet? Legacy isn't about being remembered. It's about what you leave behind that continues to give. Arthur will be forgotten eventually. His name will fade, but his trees will remain. And that's enough. That's everything. You don't need to see the harvest to plant the seed. You don't need to climb the tree to dig the hole. You just need to plant, to give, to think beyond your own lifetime. That's the wisdom of the gardener. That's the patience of trees. That's the gift we can all give if we choose to. Sleep now, dear friend. Rest deeply. And tomorrow, plant something, anything, a seed in soil, a kind word in someone's heart, an idea in the world. Plant something that will outlast you, that will grow after you're gone, that will shade strangers you'll never meet. That's legacy. That's meaning. That's immortality. Not through being remembered, but through what you leave growing behind you. Arthur plants trees. What will you plant? Good night.